Hello everyone, this is Mike1217. Welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. In the last episode, we actually got the boss key, like, right away. And now we're still at the boss door. We hardly even did much of a dungeon. We just did, like, 2 rooms, and that's it. So, are we really gonna fight the boss now? Well, let's find out. Oh, look at that! It's the element right there. I guess there is no boss. Okay, so this is a little bit strange. Well, this does mean there will be more dungeon left, because we do have to find a way to melt this thing. So yeah, they wouldn't take you straight to the boss. You know, after just doing 2 rooms. I mean, I'm sure I wasn't fooling anyone with that. But yeah, now we have the element right here, and it is frozen, so we have to find a way to unfreeze it. And we can't go right because of a frozen block in the way. So it looks like we're gonna have to go left and go to this room. This is our only option. Ah, stupid flying pots. And we have this room. We can go south to see what's there. I think this might lead to the compass of the map. Yeah. Map, which is somewhat useful. Actually, it isn't very useful in this dungeon. Never mind. This is probably the dungeon where the map is the least useful, because it is somewhat of a linear dungeon. You do, yeah, I mean, you have 2 linear paths. I don't know why I'm not ducking underneath this. Again, you can hit B to dunk underwater for a short time, and which will become useful for getting past those spiky log things. Alright, so you want to start off by going this way. And we have a locked door, so of course we're gonna need to find a key. And we need to get over to that switch. The only way to get to that is by slinging. You might think you want to swim, but something you need to remember about swimming is that you can only get onto surfaces when you have like a shallow water platform like this to walk onto. You cannot walk onto surfaces like this. So, I mean, I've showed that a little bit in the last video too, but just to kind of revisit it, because it's something you're gonna have to keep in mind throughout this dungeon. So right here, we can duck underneath this and hit this switch, and that will make those go down. You can also read this. This is going to give you a clue. So the way forward is hidden in the bottom of the pot. The pot, huh? Not just any pot, the pot. So, I mean, your first instinct with that would be to find something inside of a pot that you could break open, but, well, look at this. This shape looks kind of like a pot, so yeah. You actually have to dive down, and you'll find a key. So yes, you do have to actually dive down in certain parts of this game. So that's a pretty clever idea there. Give you a little clue telling you about pot, and make you think that you have to like break open a pot to get the key or whatever you need. Because you can't get onto here, so we're gonna have to figure out exactly how to get onto here, and why we got that key in the first place. So ultimately we do want to be going in that direction. Okay, now you can get back up to where the key, to where the locked door is, by just climbing up here. And just push this block out of the way. And I just have to comment on the you know, I've been able to go this entire Let's Play without talking about the music of this game, which is unlike me to not, you know, bawl over the music. But this game has probably one of the best soundtracks of the Zelda series. I have to say that right now. And the dungeon music especially is very, very well done. And this is probably my favorite dungeon theme in this game. So, there might be points where I'll talk very minimally to kind of, you know, give leeway to the dungeon music to play. It's very, you know, it's kind of spooky sounding, in a way. But yeah, this lily pad platform is how we'll be getting over to that switch we saw right next to the pot shape. And right here, you're just gonna have to accept taking. Well, we could try. I tried to get off really quickly and duck just for fun. And now look at this. Now I'm getting raped by this thing, and my lily pad's going away. That was totally not worth the trouble. Now look at this. Now look at this. This is what I get for trying to get out here without taking a hit. Now I lose 3 hearts because I'm a freaking idiot. Okay. So yes. This has a little more of the Deepwood Shrine type of thing where you have to navigate through water on top of a lily pad. Just because we can swim now doesn't mean we are quite out of this yet. We still have to be using this. So yeah, it is pretty cool how they make it so that you can only get onto certain parts of a platform when you're swimming. That way it does allow for some clever puzzle solving with the lily pad. And here we go. Here's another one of these guys. Him from the Deepwood Shrine, the Wiggler mini boss. Well, we fight him again here. This isn't exactly the mini boss of this dungeon. You might think, oh, we're gonna get the dungeon item pretty soon, but nope, that's not quite how it works. I don't think I hit him right there. I think no matter what, whether you attack him or not, he'll go crazy like that after he goes into the stunned form. I'm not getting a lot of hits off on him. I mean, I feel like I should be getting more hits off whenever he's stunned like that. Maybe I'm just too used to fighting bosses like this. I don't know. He's dead, and to tell you the truth, this really isn't a required mini-boss fight, because all this gives you, if we can get to the door, is the compass. So, which isn't a very useful item, let's be honest. Especially in the 2D games. The map is useful in the 2D games, but I don't find the compass to be that useful at all. I mean, the thing with me is I find the map more useful in 2D games, and I find the compass more useful in the 3D games to, like, find a... Oh, what am I doing? To find a treasure chest. What am I doing? Because in the 3D games, you actually had the map on the screen as you're playing. And, you know, you can see where chests are. In the 2D games, you don't have that. Okay, so first of all, right here, this is why, you know, we have to use the lily pad because we can't get on these platforms ourselves. Hit the switch will, of course, what the god, yeah, the ice, it can get pretty aggravating here. But, again, you have to kind of come up with some tricks to kind of stop your traction. And oh boy, we're gonna have a pretty difficult ice block moving puzzle. But first, let's get rid of the enemy so I don't get on our way. 50 rupees, very nice. Ah, damn it, this is really annoying. But be careful not to push any of these now until you get rid of all the enemies. Because one false movement of these blocks, and it'll completely screw you over. We want to hit that switch, and we can't hit it. We need to have a block over it. We can't touch it ourselves. So we need to get one of these ice blocks on there. Because our ultimate goal, I'm going to show this really quick. Our ultimate goal is to get over here to this door. So I might as well show that. Let's go over here and get some... Ah, what the hell? I feel like I'm slipping in the water, too. That's probably just my imagination. Maybe because I'm going from slipping around to not slipping around, and it's kind of throwing me off. I just want to get a little bit of health here. Get rid of these stupid dragonfly things. Okay, I guess that's all for the ground enemies that are gonna really annoy us. So, again, let's get rid of this guy first. Get out of here. We want to move backwards, and all we really want to do is just get a block against the one that's already right next to the switch. So we have this here, and then right here, you can kind of see what I'm doing here, moving backwards. Okay, I see what I gotta do. I push this one down. It's this block right here is what we're gonna be pushing the entire way. Really, for these ice block pushing puzzles, you're almost always just pushing one block, and then you're using the other blocks to just kind of, you know, stop it. And yeah, there you go. That's how you solve it. So you might think you want to like move all these all around in some strange pattern, but no, you just use them as placeholders for the main block that you're pushing. You just gotta figure out which one you want to push. Gust Jar. I'm really brain farty right now with my just, you know, picking items and crap like that. I did just get off of recording a random Super Nintendo game. I'm not gonna say which one it is. I'm doing for Miscellaneous Monday tomorrow. Yes, I'm finally going back to doing that. To the left of there's a treasure chest that's frozen that we can't get to, so I'm not gonna mess with that. But yeah, I'm finally going back to doing Miscellaneous Mondays, which is something I did quite a bit when I was doing Super Mario Galaxy 2 and Pokemon. I did just a random video every Monday. I just picked a random game and played it. That was basically the gist of it. And I went back to doing that in this particular night of recording. So I decided to kind of put a twist on it. So you'll get somewhat of a surprise tomorrow. You'll get an interesting Miscellaneous Monday video. Okay, so right here we have the infamous Dark Rooms in the Zelda series, the first one of these showing up in this game. So we're just gonna move up north, trying to fall. And yeah, we're not there for very long. Yay, hearts. Okay, so let's go up here. Have slugs all over the place, just falling from the ceiling. They're really, they're just getting in the way. And we have these bugs right in here that we can fight, so... wow. Use your boomerang like normal, that's how I like to do it. Oh, what the hell? I thought he was gonna die from that. I thought that was enough. What? Why is he not dead yet? That clearly should have killed him. Get out of here. And something, I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but you can actually throw the boomerang at an angle, like this, if you hold your D-pad or control stick in that direction. So, that's pretty cool. I don't really use it that way that much, but, you know, for quick, you know, I don't know. I don't find throwing it at an angle that useful, because you never really think to do it. It's one of those things you just don't react quick enough to do. Anyway, killing those makes the portal appear, and we can go back to the beginning of the dungeon if we want, but first, we need to do this. This switch we cannot push on our own, so we have to split off. And hitting the switch will actually make a light from the ceiling open up. And there you go, that is how we melt the element out of that big ice block. And however, this little beam of sunlight wasn't enough to melt the ice holding the element, but it was enough to melt the ice, the smaller ice block to the right over here. So now we can go through this path. So yeah, this dungeon is really just 2 linear paths. That's really all it is. So it is a difficult dungeon as far as puzzles and enemies go, but it's not hard to like figure out where to go. It's an easy dungeon to navigate. It's kind of the opposite of the Fortress of Winds. Actually, no, that's easy to navigate too. I'm trying to think of which one's hard to navigate. Well, actually, the Cave of Flames is pretty tough to navigate, but the puzzles are easy. I guess. So I'm basically just trying to say this is the opposite of that. And well, it is ice too, so this is completely opposite of the Cave of Flames. We have ice. It's more of a puzzle-solving dungeon than it is a navigating dungeon. I want to go here first. I want to make sure I get all the kinstones here, because I really need kinstones for some of the side quests that I am requiring myself to do to get all the items in the game. I need kinstones for that. Now, one of those side quests is the Tingle side quest. We saw that a little bit previously before we entered this dungeon. And there's also an empty bottle that I need not a blue kinstone, a red kinstone to get. I actually don't, I haven't really needed blue kinstones at all. I need a red one to get the empty bottle fused with my uncle in my house. I need blue, stop saying blue. I need green ones to fuse with the Tingle characters, which actually they're not all named Tingle. I just found out that like they do have their own unique names, so they're not just like Tingle 1, Tingle 2, or, you know, that would really suck to be named all the same name. So, I think like one's named Ankle, the other one's named Inkle, and someone else is named like Ned. No, it's probably not Ned. I'm just giving him that name. But yeah, we just got a green kinstone there going to the right path. It's kind of tough, you know, from this screen, it's tough to tell which path you want to go. And of course the kinstone's optional, so you want to go left to actually get to where you want to go. But I knew the kinstone was there, so I wanted to go for that. We have more ice blocks here in the locked door and have a key for it, so let's go up. And what is this? We have a light on top of a door. And this is actually going to be one of those layered rooms where the light will actually drop down there once you hit a switch. But we can't get to that switch across here, so we have to not fall down, but go down the stairs and hit this switch. And you might think that would make the light come down and melt that chest, but not quite. We actually have to go back up. And hit this switch, and that will send the light actually onto here, and then you have to go back down. So, just kind of move the light through the layers. I'm not exactly sure how this works. I mean, if you think about it, you can probably figure it out, but yeah, it's a pretty easy puzzle to solve. And that right there, that will melt the ice. And this will be a key. We worked hard for it. There's nothing else we can really do, so that had to be a key. So let's go back up. And now we can open this locked door, and let's see what this leads. A big room. What could this possibly mean? There's a switch here that usually opens up those light doors, and likewise here, but what exactly does that do? Uh-oh. Does this look familiar?